All right, we're at halftime. This is a crazy first half. Let's talk about the. Let me just get this muted so I can think for a second here. Obviously, great job by the broadcast team. First and foremost, shout out our Mets fans, boy Kevin Burkhardt, Greg Olson. But diving into the game, let's talk about the first drive, which was absolutely just insane. So the Giants' first drive, they go 16 plays, 60 yards, 8 minutes and 50 seconds. They have the huge 3rd and 20 conversion to Wandell Robinson, get down to the 3 yard line, and James Hudson had his fourth horrendous penalty to bring them back, and then they end up kicking a field goal. But let's just talk about James Hudson on that first drive for a minute, because Dable's losing his mind. If he had any hair, he'd be pulling it out, just like all of us were sitting on the couch watching this. But it was just crazy. Like, I will defend James Hudson for that first hit to the head, because the guy did slip when he was kind of already had his arm cocked, and it was a draw. He's the backside tackle. He's just got to get that guy upfield. He was just trying to hit him on the shoulder pad. James Hudson, I got your back on that. And then the false starts, and then the really bad one when he's just trying to clean up the pile at the end, or he kind of rolls up behind Russell Wilson and he's just throwing the guy's face into the ground. Take a personal foul there. That was pretty brutal. And then it takes points off the board, because the Giants are absolutely due to get into the end zone from the 10-yard line going in, even though it hasn't happened yet till later in the first half. But I just think, with how they've been playing, dude, Omega, thanks for joining, bro. Yeah, I can't tell what we are yet either. I'm just going through that first drive with Hudson, and then he has a terrible penalty, the bunch of terrible penalties, and then I think you saw Dable on the sideline being like, Embo's coming next. But personally, after that last one, it would have been fully justified, and I don't really care about using first half timeouts. I probably would have just called the timeout and taken him out, because I really haven't seen a single individual player sabotage a drive like that in quite some time, to the extent that he did. And it was crazy. And the Giants still persevered through that entire drive and got down there in 16 plays to even get a field goal. But damn, that was just brutal. Then Embo comes in, who looked completely fine to start. Graham Gano, 33-yard field goal again. Giants defense looks pretty solid throughout. Yeah, it's 9 penalties for about 80 yards so far through this one. Obviously, highly unacceptable. It's on the coaching staff at this point when you have so many penalties like that. I probably would have called the timeout to take Embo out of the game, because 4 in a single drive is unacceptable. It tanks everything. You just can't be doing that and expecting to win at this level. I could do a green screen on this. Is it worth doing this? Yeah, maybe we'll throw this on there. Throw the green screen on there. I was wondering how to do that. Malik is hungry. Keep feeding him the ball. Yeah, so getting up to that, the Giants defense, I thought, played pretty well so far in this half. Many yards did they give up? Dak with 100 yards passing. Russell Wilson, 17 for 21 touchdowns, 235 passing. Very efficient and mistake-free. But the Giants defense right now is only giving up 102 total yards, 7 first downs, and the Cowboys are 1 for 4 on third down. So defense is stepping up so far today. Burns looks great. Burns picking up right where he left off last week. Thibodeau, a little cocky after that sack where he is blocked into the running back on the Cowboys had a perfect block on Kayvon Thibodeau on that play out of a 5-wide set. And then he just crashed Thibodeau so far inside and gave him even more, kind of accelerated Thibodeau through the gap to make the sack. I can see Burns having 20 plus sacks this season. Yeah, I mean, he's definitely paid like he should. I would love to see it too. Let's see how it works out. But Getting up to talking about the Giants defense, then Aubrey kicks a 51-yard field goal in the second quarter to make it 6-3. Giants come back down the field. 5 plays, 70 yards in 2 minutes and 48 seconds for Malik Neighbors to score his first touchdown of the season for the Giants, and the Giants get on the board. Great throw, even better catch. The Giants just consistently find ways to make things harder than they have to be, but feed Malik, keep him hungry, feed him the ball, do whatever, He might be full, but if he is, keep feeding him and give him seconds, man, because he's special. You keep him happy. And this Cowboys defense doesn't seem that great. Obviously, they traded Michael Parsons a couple weeks ago, but you are at a point where if you want to turn this game into a shootout, it's tough to be in a shootout with Dak because they have CD Pickens. They find ways to, turn shootout wins into victories for themselves. But right now, the Giants offense, and Russell Wilson in particular, is playing extremely efficient. The last thing I just want to add on that is just to Russell's efficiency. The Giants haven't been great at running the ball thus far. Tracy's 4 carries, 12 yards, and then Wandell with the 5 receptions for 98 yards. So I think Greg Olsen had a great call on the 1 third down where Wandell just broke hot because his guy was blitzing and they were significantly short of it. I feel like we just forget about that a lot of time. When a wide receiver has the guy on top of them blitz, they break hot. It's blitz pickup. And that's why, teams blitz, right? Make them try and throw it short and get rid of it quickly. But I liked Greg Olsen calling that out. The penalties in this game have just been crazy so far. They had the 4 on one single play. There was a lot going on that play, right? Roughing the passer, pass interference, CeeDee Lamb taunting, and then a hold. They didn't call a hold. I forget what else their other penalty there was, but it's just getting crazy. I think Adebo is looking good. The only really big play that CeeDee Lamb has had so far was when it looked like he had soft coverage from Deontay Banks and Bobby Okereke was kind of chasing his ass as well. So if that's what they're going to give up to, and he has 3 for 37. What's up, Seth? How you doing? Ravens winning. Yeah, you know what? I wanted to take the Browns in that just because I was looking at the last 10 times the Browns and the Ravens play, for whatever reason, doesn't matter how bad the Browns are, there's a strong probability that it's got to be within a touchdown. Can't explain why. It's just the battle of the great AFC North. There's no rationale behind any of it. None that I can figure out, at least. But somehow it's always a close game. And you could substitute in the Steelers, Bengals, Ravens, Steelers, Browns, Bengals, however way you want to put it. Those games always come close somehow, and makes no sense. What else you guys got for me? Orioles are playing good, dude. I can't speak to you about the Orioles, bud. Sorry about that, but I do like Gunnar Henderson. I don't know what happens with who's the other guy. What's his name, son? Who they brought up, the other prospect. Why am I blanking on him? But whatever. Yeah. Well, my Mets have just fell off the background. They've just fallen out completely. Defense needs to get a turnover or two. Yeah, bro. Omega, couldn't agree with you more. No turnovers last week. Both teams turnover free and a half. Turnovers could be the key in this game today, because both offenses are kind of doing what they need to do. Yeah, Henderson. The pass rush isn't clicking. the more I've looked into this, it seems like they're just rotating so many guys. Like they're rotating Abdul, they're rotating Burns, they're rotating Thibodeau, they're rotating Dexter because they said Dexter's not in really game shape yet. He's coming off the elbow surgery. Um, it's just going to be interesting to see like when they can get them all on the same field. And is that going to mean putting Abdul Carter at inside linebacker? I don't think that really makes sense to me. But if he gets these guys on the field and he's good enough of an athlete to play, I'd rather see him play every snap. Like there's no let's wait till later in the season for everyone to be in game shape and go for it, because this schedule does not get any easier. You have to win every single game you can. Guys are going to get hurt. How many times do we blitz? The blitz was working last week. Maybe we should go back to it. Yeah, I mean, the blitz was working. I don't really like Shane Bowen, to be completely honest with you. And if things go off the rails this season, like the last 2 years, I'm totally fine moving on from him. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. But you know what? Two guys that I do think are having a good season so far is Javion Holland, who I thought was kind of going to suck, to be completely honest with you, and Newbin look good so far. You want to know why I think they look good? Because you're not saying their names much. If you were like, Newbin, penalty, oh, he's playing like shit, he's getting cooked. Like, both of them haven't played that bad yet. I mean, last week we could take with a grain of salt, but if they could go into Jerry's World and get their first win there in whatever 12 of 13 meetings, this is a huge win. Big second half coming up. Wink would have blitz. Yeah, dude, I kind of miss Wink. I don't know. Is he still at Michigan? I think he was. He's a good coach for college guys to have as a coach, and he has a very good reputation. That if I was a player that wanted to go to the NFL, Michigan wouldn't be a bad place to play defense, because he could send calls. Like, he just looked like he was a good player's coach. The guys loved him, and then him and Dable had that weird falling out. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know Bowen. I don't really get his game plans. I definitely don't want to see Bobby Okereke trying to chase CeeDee Lamb, that's for sure. But all right, that's it for me. Win the second half, win the game. Let's go Giants.